There's been a recurring theme that I wanted to do a video on, which is how do I transition from opening a conversation on LinkedIn to qualifying them? How do I actually get the pain from the prospect so they realize that I'm someone that can actually help them? I'm going to be walking you through step by step in this video with real LinkedIn examples, real messages that I have sent so that you can see exactly how I do this. So what does this actually look like? Well, first things first, most people personalize your name, not your problem. And this is an example that was sent to me literally a couple of days ago, which said, "Hi, Ewan Davis. Thanks for connecting. Just want to share we help businesses like you to book high quality 15 meetings with companies present, blah, 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 blah." Point is, I'm not going to read that and it doesn't show any problem that I'm experiencing nor any pain. And so immediately I'm going to exit. I'm just going to archive because it's not personalized to me. Yes, they personalize my name, but not my problem. And so that's the first mistake that you just need to get rid of because that will be archived instantly. And so what do most people do? Well, there's an old way and there's a new way. The old way was slow, took a long time, and most people would have a lot of drop off. And so they would be talking with someone, they'd be going, "Hey, you and this conversation is going really well," and they should just drop off. And that was because they would open the conversation, immediately jump to qualifying the person, and then try and book them. And the thing is, people smell this from a mile off. They know when you're trying to qualify them, especially when you start asking questions like, "What's your focus this year? Oh, how's your 2026 going?" Things like this. Don't say that. And so what we're doing is we're adding in an additional stage, which is surfacing the pain. No one in the history of the world has ever bought a product that they didn't need because they had to purchase it because they were feeling some sort of pain, some sort of problem that they needed it to solve. Now, maybe you could argue, yes, people buy cars and maybe that's not a problem that they have. But the point is, when it comes to B2B and when it comes to usual B2C services, this is the case. And so what we do is this is the new way of a conversation. Open the conversation, surface the pain, qualify them, and book. And you can do this within under 5 days. This process up here used to take 3 to 4 weeks to get to a call. We can now do it in under 5 days, which is just crazy. So what do you need to do to actually make this possible? Well, first things first, you need to map your 3 to 5 pains that your avatar experiences. How do you actually do this? If you got Claude, ChatGPT, whatever your equivalent is, open it up, get all your transcripts from your previous calls, your previous sales calls, any material that you can get where you have a transcript, chuck it into Claude or ChatGPT and say, okay, what pain consistently comes up on these calls? What is something that my avatar are saying all the time? Now, in the instance of myself, these are our 5. We have dormant pile, which is where they have shit tons of connection requests that they just are leaving there. They don't ever accept them. They don't ever reply. Then we have brand bleed, where their brand is bleeding because they put a person into the inbox who sounds nothing like them, not aligned with their brand, and are sending messages to all their potential clients. And that's brand bleed. Another one was quiet likes, which is basically where they've got all these people liking their content, but none of them are actually converting. Next one is long sales cycles, where, like I was saying before, they're doing the old process. And so it takes forever for people to actually convert into a call. And then also burnt out skepticism. So they're at this point where they're like, "I don't even think this is going to work." And we have to convince them otherwise. And so we have got this based on data by going back to all the previous calls, prospect calls, sales calls, whatever. And we've worked out that these things consistently come up. And so that way we can start with this pain as the first thing in the conversation. So you need to go back, find what yours are, and then within the first 1 to 3 messages, you can hit them where it hurts early by labeling one of the pains they're probably experiencing because it's based on data, not on feeling, which is what a lot of people do. So what does this actually look like? Well, and I've got examples here, but literally you're going to name the pain at the beginning of the conversation. And then it's like, is that something you're experiencing too? Or is that something you've seen as well? Let them sit on it. This is where you want to put them through what's called a pain cycle. So you want to be like, "Oh no, that sucks. That's so annoying. Oh, and what's that led to something else happening? Oh, then that happened after. Oh no, that's so annoying." You put them through this pain cycle. So they're just stuck in the conversation with you, constantly being reminded of the pain that they are in. That's what you want to do. And so you name the pain. You're like, "Oh, you get that too?" Let them sit on it. This is what a lot of people do. They find the pain and then they immediately move on to the next thing. And I'm like, let them sit in it. Let them experience it, feel it, be like, I need to solve this now. Keep reminding them, and then just go through this pain cycle until you hit them. You realize this guy's in a lot of pain, and then you can transition to qualifying, which we're going to rename to rescuing them. We're going to go, you know what? I think I might be able to help you. It seems like if this isn't solved, this will lead to this thing, this will lead to this thing, which is called second order consequence, where they're like, oh, this is going to lead to another thing happening, and that's bad as well. And then you're going to pull them out of this pain cycle. And the way that you do that is by qualifying. So you say, look, I think I might be able to help you. Mind if I ask you a couple questions just to see if I could even help? Then if it makes sense, we can book in a call. And so you're like pulling them out of the pain. And so what does this actually look like? Well, an example from my co-founder is we opened the conversation with this person who said, yo, Darren, appreciate you accepting my connection request. Although I never know people just connecting to grow their network, offer something specific, or maybe both. P.S. I like to post about pulling content from real calls instead of signing from a blank page. That's such a good distinction. Guy came back, was like, happy Wednesday. I'm just vibing, accepting those who request. Now, what my co-founder did was he hit the pain immediately. He said, love that, man. So he acknowledged it. He said, most people I speak with. And so what is he doing here? He's taking in a third person. So you say, most people I speak with, so you're not alone in this. Skip over their connection requests, not realizing that those people often are your next clients, that are a couple messages away from them. How many did you gather in there? And then a bit of humor. One of the coaches spoke last week had 4,000. So what are we doing? We're hitting the first pain point, dormant pile, within the second message. That's how important this is, because then that way you can guide the conversation. Because this guy, I don't know why I cut it off, but this guy came back and he was like, that's exactly what's happening. And so from there, it's super easy because you're like, oh no, why is that happening? Oh, what do you think there's anyone there that might actually become a potential client that you haven't accepted yet? Oh yeah, there probably is someone like that. Oh, okay, so we probably need to accept those as soon as possible. Super simple. The other scenario is if he saw the pain and the guy said, you know what, I'm actually on top of my connection requests. It's not really a problem that I'm experiencing. What do I do then? I move on to the next one. Oh, that's fine. I'm accepting a lot of my connection requests. I was once working in a company and they brought in these external help to accept their connection requests for them because they had so many, and they ended up sending these shitty messages that were all templated, and it completely burnt their brand. I know that's something that, happens quite often. And then what you can do is like, oh, I assume that wouldn't happen to you because you're probably sending the DMs yourself. So I've got two pathways here. Either they say, oh no, someone else is sending it for me to them, but actually, you know what? They are like, that is bleeding my brand a little bit. Or they go, yeah, I am sending the DMs myself, which is another pain that we have. And so the whole way through, it's like, it doesn't matter what pathway they go through, they're going to hit a pain at some point. And it's your job to go, okay, I've got the pain, hit it and stay on it. Hit them where it hurts and consistently remind them of the pain that they have. Another example that I did was this person sent me a message like this, and I said, hey, Name, it's a pleasure to be connected. Things are going good at the moment, although having to spend this morning going through tons of inbound connection requests I neglected. I'm sure you get the same. You make this assumption that they have the pain, especially having Jasmine Alec as a guest. Congratulations, that's something I saw on their post. And so what am I doing? I'm hitting dormant pile within the first message. And so that way, if they come out, they're like, oh, dude, yeah, I've got tons of connection requests. It's so annoying. I've hit them where it hurts by the first message. This is my first message I sent to them. Obviously, they started in this instance, but that's my point. Hit them where it hurts early, and the conversation is so much easier from there. Cool. So here are the 3 rules. You never want to, You never want to like make someone feel bad about themselves. Never. And so what you do, you compliment them and then you assume a pain. Oh, I'm sure you must get the same, like I did in this message here, right? Then what you want to do is you want to use a case study. So what is the most convincing thing in the world? That you have helped someone else exactly like them. That's the most convincing thing. And so what are you going to do? You're going to say, hey, I was working with this person and they were experiencing the same. You're going to bring them into the conversation. Or in this instance, like a firm I work with, say targeting firms, had the exact same issue. What we did with them was we were able to implement a follow-up sequence or whatever it is that you solve. And so you're educating them as well. You're proving to them, what does the solution look like? And the key here that I've seen so many people make a mistake with is don't coach them. Show them what they need to do. Don't tell them how to do it. Show them what they need to do, not how to do it. So an example might be, I might say to someone, hey, you know what? On your post, you could probably have got a few signups to your newsletter if you had a lead magnet, right? I didn't tell them how to make a lead magnet. I didn't tell them how to set up a link, put it in the post for them, all this different stuff. I just said, if you had a lead magnet at the end of your post, you probably get more people sign up to your newsletter. I showed them what to do. I didn't tell them how to do it. That's what's important. And that technique is called showing, not telling. Just remember that. If you're ever in a situation in the DMs, you're like, oh, I'm starting to coach this person, zoom out, show them what they need to do, but don't tell them how to do it. Because what is the natural next step? Well, Ewan, how do I do this? Funny you should say that. Have a look at my offer doc. I can help you. Okay. So that's the next step. And that's what you want to do. Cool. So what is the payoff from actually doing this? Well, as I said at the beginning, your sales cycles will go from 3 to 4 weeks to 5 days. That's like the ideal scenario because you hit them where it hurts early. And I've seen chats, and actually worth mentioning, I'm going to be running through a full breakdown of a chat, a real chat that closed for 9K USD that did this incredibly well and was booked from cold within a day because the pain point was hit so early in the conversation that he was like, well, why wouldn't I meet with you? Okay. And I'm going to be breaking this down. That's my next video. Look out for that one. But I'm going to be breaking down an exact real conversation where someone did this incredibly well. And it meant that the chat was booked within a day, which is just crazy. So hit them where it hurts early, map your 5 pain points, as I mentioned, surface one early, and watch the conversation become so much easier because you're just adding in one additional step, which is surfacing the pain. And I promise you, if you do this well and you hit them where it hurts early, your chats will be completely transformed and you'll be able to progress conversations at speed that you've never seen before. And I will be breaking down an exact chat where this happened so you can see exactly what this looks like. Hopefully that's giving you some examples so you can go start some conversations in this way and make the transition. I'll see you in the next video.